So hey there everybody, and welcome to what should be a very interesting talk about search engine optimization for our drone business websites. So we've all heard about SEO and we know that we want it. We want search engine optimization. We don't know why we want it, but man, do we want it. So I just pulled up a generic explanation of search engine optimization. Now, if you're not a drone pilot, if you're not building your drone business, that's okay. SEO still relates to you if you're running and managing your own website, or even if you have somebody else running and managing your website. So SEO, search engine optimization, what does that mean? It means make your site appear in Google. So we're just borrowing the webpage from redevolution.com. They do SEO work. So you can sign up with them or anybody else. I just randomly picked this to share with you. So I actually use some other tools for my own SEO and I deal with my own SEO. That doesn't mean you have to. So before we get deep into this, I also wanted to say I've gotten a lot of responses from folks over the years. They're always asking, hey, do SEO. But I've kind of stayed away from it because we're more about drone tutorials. But since we've started building this new series on building your small drone business, we've got to talk about websites and we've got to talk about search engine optimization. So recently, a person who's new to my Patreon channel asked the question about SEO. They've got a brand new website, been up for a couple weeks. They submitted it to Google for indexing. And so one of the big things is when you first build your website, it's not going to instantly pop up on Google. Google's got to come out and take a look at the website and give it a read. Literally, Google's going to give it a read. So what makes your site appear in Google? Great content. You need words. In addition to my drone work, I do work with multiple clients on websites. So I help build and maintain websites for RV parks and resorts and a couple other businesses. And whenever I'm talking to the folks that I'm working with at those businesses, I always say to them, words, words, words. You need words in your website. If you make a beautiful website with lots of photos and really displaying your amazing drone work and there's no words on there, people are never going to find you, period. Okay. So we need interesting and meaningful content on our websites. So that's what SEO is about, making sure that we're building in content that's of interest to people who are doing searches on Google to try to find us. If we don't use words like drone, our town name, maybe our county name, our state name, 3D modeling, progression reporting, drone photography, drone real estate photography, all of these words should be popping up in your website if you're building your drone business from scratch. So, how does Google rank pages? How do we get found? Google promotes authority pages, so people who have content about that subject matter to the top of its rankings. So your job is to create pages that become authority pages. This involves writing, I want to emphasize this big time, writing content people will find useful. Okay, if I'm searching for you, let's say I live in New Hampshire and I want to find a drone pilot. I'm probably going to look up drone pilots in New Hampshire, or drone pilots in Durham, New Hampshire, or drone pilots in Dover, New Hampshire. You know, my city, my location, because not only does Google do this globally, they also do local keywording as well. So SEO can be to a broad audience or it can be to a local audience, which gets into some more complexities. So they want useful content. Share it in your blogs, your Twitter feeds. And over time, Google's going to pick up on the fact that, hey, this person's website's about drones and 3D modeling and 2D modeling, and they seem to like agriculture as well. So in your web pages, you're going to need to write about drones, your location, the services you offer, and you have to write about this stuff regularly over and over again in all of your different pages. So normally we've got our front page, our home page. So the keywords in that front page should reflect the core of what our business is in. Now, also, there's some debate on this, but usually Google wants to see somewhere between 300 and 500 words to think that a web page is relevant. So you've got a couple of tasks here. You need to write meaningful content with keywords that pertain to your business. You need to keep in mind how much you've written on each of your pages to make sure that you've written enough to where Google thinks that it has value. So in a nutshell, search engine optimization is the activity of ensuring a website can be found in search engines for words and phrases relevant to what the site is offering. So you need to make meaningful content that relates to the page that people are reading. Before we go any further, I want to go way back in time. So I've been building websites for fun and for profit, but I've been building websites for fun since the first web browser called Mosaic. You might remember it. It was back in the early 90s. It was before Netscape was a thing. And I was in graduate school doing grad work on economics. And my thesis was on the economics of digital networks, how per unit pricing impacts endogenous technological change. Huge mouthful. So, but while I was doing my research, the first web browser ever came out, and that was Mosaic. And I continued my research and got more interested in networks and online communications, and I left the economics field. Now, way back then, there wasn't a Google, and getting yourself found was kind of difficult. Then some of the search engines like Google and others came along, and they started reading our web pages, but not like they do today. What we used to do, I'm clicking another tab here, is we used to do meta tags. So in your website, when you were coding everything up in HTML, maybe you're doing it all by hand and you remembered all the different things you need to do to build a website without all these cool features that we have today. In the website, we would actually create these metas. So we'd have a meta name description, and that description would be my cool drone company. And then we'd have a meta of keywords. So we'd put in the keywords that were relevant to our website, and these search engines would run out and they'd read these meta tags and they'd say, wow, Rich's website says Disney 6 million times over and over again. When people do a search on Disney, we're going to send them to Rich's website. Oh no, well, I'm a drone operator. I don't work for Disney or anything. So what happened was people abused these metas and the meta keywords, and they would put in popular keywords, those keywords that people were searching for, to get people over to their site. So they'd do, a Disney vacation, cruises, Alaska tours. They put all this stuff in that didn't relate to their website at all. And Google got wise to that and said, you know what, you guys are filling your meta tags with a bunch of junk. We're going to make a smart algorithm. We're going to make a smart search engine service that actually goes out and reads your web pages. So while you can still throw meta tags into websites, and they'll be hidden in the background, trying to load up meta tags like that is really frowned on, and you don't want to do it. So over time, as Google developed and all the rest of the search engines developed, they started coming up with better ways to figure out what your website's about. And at this point, what Google does is it says, I'm going to go read your website. I'm going to go read your drone website, and I'm going to see how many times you mention these things. Now, you don't want to load a page, let's say, saying drone pilot Washington 50 times on your front page. You don't want to do that. You want to write meaningful content in real paragraphs, salt and peppering those keywords in, okay? So each and every one of your pages, that means, is a marketing opportunity. So if you've got 5 or 7 pages, every page could focus on some specific features of your drone business, which is awesome, because that means there's multiple approaches to getting found in a search. So the more meaningful content you write, the better your odds are that you're going to get found by Google. Now, one of the big parts of SEO is, okay, we start writing some things. We need to take a look and see how Google is going to view us. Does Google believe that that we're really a Disney affiliate or, a Princess Cruise Line affiliate or something? No. So we need to sit down and figure out, well, what are the best words for our business and how can we incorporate them in a meaningful manner with the descriptions that we're providing on our websites. Keep in mind, Google, when you go out and Google something, you're looking for something specifically. You don't want to mess around with stuff that's not related to your searches. And Google doesn't want to mess around either. They want to get you to the page you're looking for quickly. So if you're hoping that someone will find your drone business, you're going to write that meaningful content throughout your pages, not overdoing it, making sure it's part of your regular conversational voice on your website. So there's a couple ways that we can get found through SEO. We can do organic search engine optimization, which means that you, the website owner, is sitting down and writing meaningful content about your services. This is time consuming. It's not going to be a thing that happens immediately. We're not all great writers. I understand that. Google searches your website for that organic SEO and it decides, okay, here are the things that your website are about. And when people search for these things, I'm going to send them to you. Okay. So that's doing it all yourself internally. Maybe you could hire a writer to help you out with that. Another way to go at it is what they call pay per click. So you can go sign up with Google's AdWords. So they've got an AdWords program where you pay per click and you tell them the keywords you want to be found for. So I want to be found for Arizona drone services. So I would pay them every time somebody clicked on that paid for link to get to my site. This can get expensive very quickly, but it can also help you lay the groundwork and the foundation for your searches while you're building your site. Still, this is going to take a little time. And it can become extremely expensive very quickly if you're doing pay per click. Now, also, just to let you know, there are services out there who will do your search engine optimization for you. They'll write articles for you. They'll write your web pages for you. They'll sit down and have a conversation with you about, okay, what are the topics that you're covering? Who is the audience that you want to reach? And then they'll start crafting your web pages for you. So there is an option for that. Now, in the question that I recently got from one of the folks on my Patreon channel, they were talking to an SEO company, and that SEO company was saying, it's going to start about $300 a month. And I'm going to go ahead and say that number didn't scare me when he said that to me. I spend $100 a month on SEO tools that I use to find out if I'm doing a good job or if I'm doing a bad job with my website. So I utilize something called SEMRush, and SEMRush tells me, here's what your page is yielding for you right now, Rich. So we're going to look at that in just a minute. So hearing the number $300 a month from a professional SEO firm sounds somewhat reasonable to me. So that doesn't sound scary if they actually start driving traffic to you. Now, one other thing that you need to keep in mind is you're already in a very small niche business. I know there are thousands and thousands of drone pilots out there, but we are a very small business category right now. We work for construction companies. Maybe we work for farmers doing agricultural flights and surveys. We're working for realtors. We've got a kind of broad list of our clientele. But let me put it to you this way. We've been doing a lot more work with construction and construction companies. How many construction companies in the state of Arizona are looking for a drone pilot right now? I can tell you for a fact, not many. Maybe 5 to 10 a month are looking for us. So we've got a very small audience that we're trying to reach so that SEO becomes very important. You are never going to see thousands of searches on your small drone business. It's not going to happen because we don't have that many customers. But when we land one of our customers, they're usually really great customers. So how do you find out and verify what keywords are showing up in your website? Well, let me just swap really quickly. And when I first started out doing this, when I first started building websites for clients, I started using this free service called wordcounter.net, and they've got a website word counter. So I went into that this morning to do this demo for you, and I looked up azdrone.net. And what we found, thanks to this free tool, totally completely free, is that there are 770 words on my front page. And it tells me the non-common keywords. So these are the keywords that Google is most likely going to be focusing in on. When Google comes and reads my website and reads the content on the website, Google is going to say the front page of AZ Drone is about drones. It's services. So there we go. There's one of our phrases, drone services. Aerial, so for aerial photography and things. Estate and real, so real estate. So now we got drone services and real estate. Hey, this front page might be about drone services and real estate. And it might also be based in Arizona, so there's AZ. And we've got photography, and we've got Prescott and Arizona. So there's our non-common keywords. So when Google walks away from inventorying my site, they've got a pretty firm idea that front page is about drone services offered in Arizona, offered in the Prescott area. And that's just for one page. So if we go, let me grab another window really quick, okay? Sorry about that. I should have had more tabs up for you. But so that was the front page that we saw on those insights. Let's go over to the About Us. So, because as I said before, every page is a marketing opportunity, right? An online marketing opportunity, I should say. So now I'm going to that web page word counter, and we're going to go check out the About Us page. Let's go count those words, shall we? 902 words on the About Us page, so it's very descriptive with who we are. And the first thing is drone again, and then AZ and Arizona and services and aerial, Prescott, photography, and then it gets into the smaller ones. But once again, here's another page on my site that's about drones in Arizona and drone services and aerial services. So all these things that people are searching on, aerial services in Arizona, drone services in Arizona, drone services Prescott, these things are going to combine together, and I've got a pretty decent shot at capturing some of the folks popping by. Let's go look at some of our other drone services. Let's check out the construction services webpage, and let's go ahead and check it out again. Now, this video is going to go long again. I know that sometimes I do go over, but this is all meaningful content. This is all stuff that you're going to need to think a lot about. So I really want you to see how this is working just with the web page word counter. And then we're going to look at something that's even more detailed than this. Once again, non-common keywords over here. Top right up here, 1,051 words. So I wrote a lot about our construction services. So we've got drone data construction, so aerial project services, Arizona, modeling. We've got real down here and estate again. But so this one is clearly about drone construction services. And we've got those words, drone construction services. And here's how many times they pop up. There is a possibility of saying these things too much, so you have to be careful about that too. If you overuse keywords, then Google thinks you're pandering to them and that you're trying to get around the algorithm. So keep that in mind. There are tools to let you know what kind of job you're doing, and we're going to look at that in just a couple of minutes. All right. So this was my free approach when I first started doing things for other clients and for myself. And as we started growing our client base and the needs of the clients, the SEO needs of the clients increased. Let's flip windows again here. I ended up signing up with a company called SEMRush. Now, there are a lot of companies out doing this, and you can also use Google's own tools. You can use Google's keyword planner. So write that one down and look it up afterward. You can utilize Google's keyword planner to check out how you're doing and suggested keywords. But I decided to go with SEMRush because of some of the tools they offer. I don't work for them. I don't have an affiliate link to them. So this is just me telling you about them, okay? So I looked up one of our other websites, exploreprescott.org, and that's a website where we're talking about the location that we're in, a lot of the cool recreation in the area, and other things. But so my azdrone.net website, I haven't been keeping up with my SEO very well. I've still been getting great search responses, but I need to go back in and do some more work on them. So I don't want to show you my numbers on AZDrone right now because I took a look at them this morning and I said, oh, that's a bad example, Rich, because I haven't been taking care of it. That's my own fault. one of the other things you need to know is you need to keep up with your website. It is not a set it and forget it proposition. If you build your initial web pages and then you just let it sit out there without any major new changes or anything, you're going to drop as far as your level of authority from Google's view. So Explore Prescott is this fun website showing off some neat stuff. I just want to scroll down. So this tool gives me a lot of information. Domain overview. We can look at just our organic results. We can see who's backlinking to us. We can do advertising research. So there are a lot of amazing tools. Also, a keyword magic tool and their keyword overview, which does what Google's keyword planner does and also more. So you can go in and type a keyword and it'll give you suggestions for other similar keywords. And it'll also tell you where those keywords rank. So are they good keywords or not? Because if you just start throwing up keywords that nobody searches for, oh, well, good work. We're ranking number 1 for something nobody searches for. Glad I spent that money. Let's scroll down here. All right. What I wanted to get to for Explore Prescott, because we've been rebuilding this site. The Explore Prescott I just left ignored for almost 2 years. Since the whole pandemic issue came about, we've resurrected it as a sideline project and something that Jody's been heavily working on. So on SEMRush, I have organic research. So I don't use pay-per-click. I haven't used pay-per-click for any clients. It gets too expensive and the results aren't always as good as we want. So I've always depended on my own organic search engine optimization and my own words on my website. I don't have other people write my websites for me. I write them for me. So Explore Prescott is all about exploring this cool place. Check out what we've got. So Watson Lake is one of our core keywords. It's in position number 11 right now, which means it's on page 2 of Google search results. Nobody reads page 2, so we need to get Watson Lake up to page 1, so we need to do a little more work. The volume is the average number of times users have searched for this given keyword per month, okay? We calculate this value over the last 12 months. So that's a lot of searches for Watson Lake. I would like to capture some of those searches. So back on my pages about Granite Dells and Watson Lake, I need to say some more about Watson Lake and make some more interesting content about Watson Lake. Okay, the Granite Dells in Prescott. We're in position number 1 right now. So if you do a search on Granite Dells Prescott, we should come up. 480 people do that search per month. Not bad. Prescott Camping, we're on position number 6. So we're actually competing with some of the campgrounds and parks here. For our links, we actually link to them, so we're not keeping any clients away from them, but we want to get people on our page first. 2,400 searches a month for that. You get the idea. So then Granite Dells, we're in the 2nd spot. 880 searches a month. Granite Dells, Prescott, Arizona, 210 searches a month. We're number 1 there. So like I said, sometimes the keywords aren't hitting so well. I want those 12,000 searches a month. I want those 2,400 searches a month. But as we're building this up, we'll get further along. 210 searches is still good because we've got a couple of top positions here, so we can capture some people who are looking in the Prescott area each time. We also can see some of our competitors and what our competitors are doing. So this is a core idea for you that you should jot down as well. Using a tool like SEMRush or some of the other ones, you can do competitive analysis with your competitors, and you can find out the keywords they're using and where they're dominating. So what that means to you is you can sit down and say, okay, my competitor XYZ drone has been using these keywords and they've been talking more about the location that we operate out of and the state that we operate out of and our service areas. And so we want to enhance some of those things. So you can literally see what your competitors are doing, see how many keywords they're geared to right now. So Pointer Rocks RV Campground is actually one of our clients. We work for them. So we're kind of integrating Explore Prescott with their website, so we feed off of each other and drive each other more visitors, so which is awesome. But so this gives me a great idea of what my competitors are looking like. And here, that 2,500, I could click on that and go see all of the core keywords that Pointer Rocks Campground is using. So a tool like this is absolutely fantastic. It has great value, but it also has some major expense. Like I said, I'm paying $100 a month for this service, and I can put up to 10 projects on here, so 10 of my clients. There are other services out there for monitoring your SEO, or you can use Google's tools, Google's keyword planners, Google AdWords. If you look into these things, there's a lot of free tools from Google. They don't have all of this analysis for you that SEMRush does, so they're offering me some more tools. Now, as I was saying earlier when we were doing the word counter, there is a possibility that you overdo it. You say drone too much on a web page. How do you know what's too much? Well, some of the other tools that are out there for free, let's go take a look. And so we're on AZ Drone right now, and I'm looking at one of the tools that I have called Yoast SEO. So Yoast SEO is a free plugin for WordPress websites. Now, I know you might not be running WordPress. You might be using Squarespace or something else. There are other tools out there for you. So don't despair and don't say to yourself, oh, wow, I got to build a website on WordPress now. Not the case at all. But this particular tool, Yoast SEO, helps me whenever I'm writing any of my pages or posts. It actually lets me know if I've done a good job with my search engine optimization or if I've done a bad job with it. And it walks me through how to improve some of those things. So I'm looking over here on the right hand side, and like I said, I need to go and do some more work on this website. It's been getting neglected because we've been busy with other things, doing classes, working for clients, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But over here on the right hand side, when I look at my pages, I see one of these that's green. That's one of my Yoast indicators. So I'm just going to go ahead and hit the straight edit button here, because Yoast actually builds a tool into my page builder, down at the bottom of my page builder, and it tells me how I'm doing on my search engine optimization. So if I look over on the right-hand side, and please don't get overwhelmed, this is the WordPress page builder. Don't freak out. Everybody's page builder is different. But over on the right-hand side, Yoast gives me some info. It's telling me I'm okay on the readability of the website. Usually it tells me that I use too many big words and I need to be writing at a lower education level. And then it also says, yeah, you're doing okay with your search engine optimization too. Now, when I scroll down here is my Yoast SEO tools. So it's telling me on my search engine optimization, my focus keyword was AZ drone. So it says I'm doing all right, but it would be happier if I said AZ drone a couple more times on the web page. So it will actually let me know when we overdo it. And when you see this add related key phrases, that's if you pay for their high end. So the free version lets you pick one keyword for a page to take a look at. You can write more than one keyword. But if you want to see your results for all your keywords, you need to purchase their pay for version. So I just use the free version for myself at this time. I do use the pay for version for several of my clients because they want more results faster. So that's why we do it. But so Yoast actually really tells me, how are you doing? Are you achieving your goals with your search engine optimization? It will also tell me if I'm overdoing it. So if I say drone too many times on the front page, it's going to let me know that as well. So this is a fantastic tool. And once again, it's a free tool for WordPress. So in this particular talk, I know we probably spent way too much time, but we've covered a lot, and I'm going to suggest that you go back through it. I'm going to do additional talks on our Building Your Drone Business course series about SEO, where we're going to slow it down. But I wanted to give you this big intro, and then we'll come back and we'll narrow some things down. So whoever thought that I would be doing SEO videos again for folks? But while we're a niche market, all of us who are drone operators building our small drone businesses do need online outreach. If you think that you can build your business without some kind of online information and marketing, I think you're deluding yourself. We all find everything online at this point now. So if you're building your business and you really want to start reaching out to people, SEO is going to be a major factor in your outreach experience. So we'll definitely get more into other SEO topics in the larger class series, and maybe we'll even make a breakout class for building your drone website and getting it found as quickly as possible. As a final note, I just need to let you know, for those of you out there who are just starting, maybe you recently built your website, it takes Google a while to index your site. You're not going to appear in the searches for weeks or maybe months. So do not get discouraged by this. You can take some of that time to really fine-tune what's going on your website, and you can also take that time to collect some more portfolio materials for your website so that when people do start finding you, they see fantastic work that you've put forward. All right, everyone, we'll see you in the next talk.